Hello everyone. In this episode, we're going to break down and really just talk about the Obi-Wan Kenobi finale. Jumping right in, we pick back up on Tatooine as Reva searches for Luke after finding out at the end of the last episode about his true origins. After being stabbed by Darth Vader, again, and surviving, she has a bandage around her waist and is trying to keep her face a little more hidden this time, as compared to before when she went throughout the town chopping hands off. However, she does give some attitude towards Obi-Wan's former boss back from episode 1, who did deserve it. You may have noticed, but Tala's blaster holder being passed down to Leia also foreshadows her future journey using blasters, and even provides a nice spot for Lola at the end of the episode. But getting straight into the part that we were all waiting for this entire time, the fight, it has numerous callbacks to the prequel films. One of the most notable is how their beginning conversation is almost exactly the same as the one they had in Revenge of the Sith, where they had their first showdown. Obi-Wan even does his signature fighting stance after they make their statements, which was, of course, awesome to see. The other references are a little more obvious as their dialogue is taken straight out of those films, as Obi-Wan is finding his inner strength once more and kind of going through some more PTSD that we've come to realize he has now, which makes complete sense. This time around, we actually see some more effort on Vader's part as compared to his fight with Reva where he barely had to move. In this fight, however, he puts a lot more energy into it, even using 2 hands on his saber instead of 1. Him and Obi-Wan even end up back to back just like in the training flashbacks. Just really recalling all of this history between them and how this is not the conclusion, but it is an epic battle between the two. Going all out like this ultimately allowed him to get the high ground instead of Obi-Wan, like in Revenge of the Sith, as he crumbles the ground beneath him. But that scene of Obi-Wan finding that inner strength once more is actually him finding his new purpose in life, which is to protect Luke and Leia. The galaxy's new hopes before the film A New Hope. The raising of the rocks is also symbolic at this time, since Jedis who are starting their journeys with the Force often train by lifting rocks. Kind of showing how Obi-Wan came around full circle again. But all I've got to say is people in the Star Wars universe have got to make sure their enemies stay down before walking away. It happens way too often and bites them all back in the butt. And as someone who has waited a very long time to get into Star Wars, I always wondered how the big bad, aka Darth Vader, could have all of these huge colorful buttons right in the center of him. Like, I figured it would be so easy to shoot at them or at least hit them. So I'm really glad Obi-Wan actually went for them during their fight and hit them with the hilt of his lightsaber, proving that it is a huge suit flaw and weak spot for Vader. Then on to what has to be my favorite part of the episode and probably the entire season, is when we get to the end of the fight where the two start talking about everything that's happened. Vader's mask is a clear nod to his character in Star Wars Rebels, where his helmet is cracked and his dialogue is very similar. The lines, "Then you will die," and "Then my friend is truly dead," are big examples of this that are taken from Rebels and his future conversation with Luke. And it's just honestly so creepy to see him this way, because he gets this faint smile and his eyes can be seen almost swapping from his normal eye color to the Sith yellow at the end. That and the colors shining off of the lightsabers, they also correspond with their conversation. They change between blue and red and bits of purple almost, as they truly state their sides of the Force. And I'm not sure about y'all, but I found it almost sympathetic in a way for Anakin to tell Obi-Wan it wasn't him who killed Anakin. But then of course he switched up real quick. And don't even get me started on how perfect the damaged voice modulator was. It was just so cool to hear and see Hayden playing his character like this, which is really all I could have asked for. As well as Ewan's performance as he apologizes for everything that's happened. But then as Obi-Wan walks away, he refers to Anakin as Darth for the first time. Just like how his future counterpart will in those later films. And in the last scenes of Vader, we get a surprise cameo of a kind of strange looking Palpatine. I guess it's just the makeup changed a little bit. But this conversation alone shows their underlying feud with one another, based on their different objectives. Since Vader clearly cannot keep his focus when it comes to his old personal life. And the Emperor knows this. When we go back over to Leia, we now see her appreciating her life more. And instead of getting a body double like her mother, she gets dressed herself. But the way she just completely runs past Obi-Wan was ridiculous. He did not deserve that after everything he's gone through. But she does make him laugh for probably the first time in this series, probably even close to 10 years, as she's helped him find his true purpose and motivation again. And speaking of her outfit, both hers and Obi-Wan's at the end of the episode are taken directly out of the comics, and I gotta say, they look amazing on screen. Luke and Leia also have almost matching outfits, which is really cool. Before leaving, Obi-Wan gives an amazing speech about Leia's parents, and how he will always remember them. It truly shows how he accepts that both of them are dead now, and explains why he tells Luke in the future that Vader killed his father. Because, in reality, that's exactly what it seems like now. Speaking of parents, and Beru were clearly some amazing role models for Luke, given how they held off Reva like that. Oh, and the pole Owen uses to fend her off is even the same one Luke and the others will use to try and stop the trash compactor in A New Hope. As we come to find out, and as we all, saw coming, Reva could not go through with ending Luke, and tries to reconcile with her past. We don't see where she goes, but we'll most likely see her in a future project, especially since she knows a lot more about the Skywalkers now than she should. We may even see Roken in future projects, since he said he's only getting started with helping others out at the beginning of the episode. Ending the finale, we get the signature "Hello there" that we were all hoping for, and even get to see when Luke receives the toy he plays with in A New Hope. And then we see the long-awaited Qui-Gon Jinn cameo, which I said was going to happen pretty much any episode since it's been teased from the very beginning. This finale also had a lot of original music and scores that really added on to the feel of the Star Wars universe. Overall, I was left very satisfied with this finale. I think it's really what this show was marketing itself to be. It just took us the whole season to get there. I think they managed to fit it almost perfectly within canon, so Obi-Wan can set off on his training with Qui-Gon, as well as having Luke not know anything about the Jedi since he never really saw Reva. And it showed Leia's journey of maturity. While there were some slower episodes, I think this finale was worth some of the build-up with the amount of action and obviously amazing Vader and Obi-Wan interactions. Personally, I probably could have done without the Reva stuff this episode, because it not only didn't go anywhere as we expected, but I felt like she kind of learned her lesson last episode, or at least that could have been the end of her character. Either way, this show is something I'm glad I didn't skip out on. The only thing I would like more is to see a happy Obi-Wan for a little longer, but obviously who wouldn't? Other than that, I don't have any complaints and believe this finale was really good. But what did you think? Did you enjoy this finale and series as a whole? Comment your thoughts below, because I'd love to hear them. And that's that. See ya.